This is your city. This is your city wants to know. We want to know the background, the heartbeat of what makes up our beautiful cities. We dig into the backstories from the struggles to the successes of our local entrepreneurs, small business owners, artists, not-for-profit organizations, and the many, many people who make up the intricate tapestry of our communities. Real people, real stories, by you and for you. But wait, that's not it. I love giving my opinion. Just ask anyone who knows me. We can't get enough of the honest, gritty feedback of places that we spend our hard-earned money. I'll give you the good, the bad, and the ugly of the places I eat, sleep, and visit. Disclaimer, my opinion only. All right, so come on, let's get to it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back for another episode of This is Your City. As always, I'm Kim, your host, and today we have an amazing guest. It's very organic. We're just going right into it. We've not even really met, but I find her story so interesting that I asked her if she minded just going right into it, and she graciously agreed. So what we're going to talk about today is, my guest is Mindy, Dina Gindy. And she's in the UK, she's in London. She's got a few things that I'm really interested in, and she heeded the call that I put out there. She's an extreme athlete, and she's also suffered with the virus, COVID-19 virus. And I want to know how that affects the body with somebody who's in such good shape and who trains extensively. So I really wanted to hear both sides of her story. So I'm like, can we just not put it into one? And she said, yeah, let's do it. So she's here. So welcome. Thank you, Dina. Thank you for agreeing to do this organically.
Thank you. I mean, the best information comes, I believe, without any preparation. So I'm 100% for this. Thank you so much for having me on this and letting me share my story.
Yeah. And you're, like I said, you're in London. So it's five hours difference. Is it 5 hour difference?
Yep.
So noon here in Ontario, 5 o'clock dinner time, your time. So we're interrupting her feeding time, so I'm even more gracious. It's dinner time.
It's more the puppy's feeding time, not my time, but anyway.
And you took care of puppies, so we're all good. So first, Dina, I want to talk about, so you're an extreme athlete, and you do CrossFit training, but you do it to another level.
I'd like to think so. I mean, my competitive background, my entire life has always been, I've pushed myself to limits. I started swimming. My dad literally threw me in a pool with a trainer when I was 2 years old, and it stopped when I was 16 and became a teenager and decided to rebel against everything, as we do sometimes. And then I found Muay Thai and kickboxing, and I did that for 13 years until I had my son. And then I kind of lost myself a little bit and landed into the land of CrossFit. And oh my goodness, what a 3-year journey this has been. It is the most incredible fitness component, just the variety of everything that we do. And then I just built. I kept building my skill set. And am I elite? No, not at all, not yet. But I aspire to be. So I push myself as much as I can. And this year has definitely been a tester on that, with lockdowns and then COVID and then everything that comes with it. So yeah.
Well, lockdown, everything's locked down, all the gyms. I'm assuming things are quite similar where you are as to here, because it's a world pandemic. It's a global thing. So I'm assuming the same. Gyms are closed down. Fitness centers are closed down. Many health places are closed down that we're typically used to going to train. But so where do you go train now? Do you train at home? And I know with CrossFit, you can use the elements outside. You can use a lot of things with CrossFit. So where do you train?
So last week, gyms opened up for us. So last week we moved to the gyms, which has been, incredible. But it's kind of moving into that. It's a bit of a mental challenge, because you're used to walking into a gym knowing how you can perform at what level, what sort of weights you can lift, what sort of pace you can push yourself. And I mean, it's been, so I had kind of a condition I'm sure we'll get into. So that knocked off 5 months of training for me where I did nothing. And then we had this last lockdown, which was 3 months. So I think in total it's been 6-7 months where I haven't been doing much.
Yeah.
So to go back into the gym and I'm like, oh my goodness me, everything hurts. But yeah, I'm smart about it, and I'm trying to build up smart. I mean, I'm at a point, I'm a Masters athlete now, so I'm kind of above the 35 age mark, and I just need to take care of my body. So that's my priority.
Well, I'll get into in a moment why you couldn't train for a little bit. We'll get into that for a minute, because like I said, there are lots of things without a gym that you can do for CrossFit, but there's reasons that you couldn't. So we'll get into that in a minute. But I'm so fascinated. My whole life I've been athletic. I've been, fit at the gym. I used to be like a gym fanatic. I'd be in there 4 days a week, 2 hours every day, or for those four. Like I was a real, like those endorphins, put my music on, close my eyes, and I just did what I did, and I missed that. That's my own fault. I got a little sick, so I had to stop, but then I got better, and then I'm just lazy, if I'm honest, Dina. So every day I wake up saying, I'm going to go back to the gym. I'm going to do this. And I don't. Maybe I need you as a coach, but anyway. So what you are training for, you're in the quarterfinals?
So yeah, I mean, the opens happened this year, and everyone was doing everything from home, and I have no idea, in the unfittest state that I have ever been in, and I qualified not only for the worldwide women's, but the Masters, which, I mean, it blew my mind. I didn't even check my emails until someone was like, you better check your emails. And I was like, oh my goodness, I just couldn't believe it. But yeah, it blew my mind. It really did. A humbling experience it has been.
But it just tells you that all of your hard work and all your dedication and discipline, like people who work out, who train, I mean, and you're in an elite group of people, the discipline, everything you put in your mouth, everything, like garbage in, garbage out, right? And then you find your name on that list. I mean, you were humbled, but elated that all of that work is paying off.
100%. I mean, to get to achieve, and this is why I became a mindset coach, the power of the mind and putting in, knowing that you have the control to shape whatever you want success to look like, and knowing that it is 100% down to you, the choices that you make, the daily actions that you take, how you think. And it is, I mean, just putting those two elements together has been the most, I can't even, it's like I'm living in a different world than I was before. So yeah, and it does take discipline. It really does, but it becomes a way of life.
Take us through a day of training for Dina.
So a day of training, typically, I'm in the middle of a full-time job, and I'm building my own business. I have a son, I have a partner, I have a house, I'm a single mom. And I mean, I would ideally, 2 hours is my 2 hours in the gym. I feel like I follow certain programming done by various kind of coaches. And yeah, when my 2 hours that I can dedicate in the gym, knowing that I've kind of hit what I needed to hit. Some days I truly, I just want to give up and sit on the side and have a little cry, but I just keep going. And that is my, when I hit my 2 hour mark, then I know it's been a good day.
Well, my listeners and people who know me hear me say this all the time. And the older I get, the more truth it is to me. Women are superheroes. Okay. Like, I'm not taking anything against men, away from men, but I'm not a man. So I'm speaking for us. We are superheroes. You're a single mom. You have a full-time job. You're building a business, building your brand. You train. You are qualified in the world, like this elite sport of CrossFit, which is just incredible. We are superhuman. You are superhuman. You can do anything. And like you alluded to with your coaching, you try and show people. Do you coach women or just anybody?
So my target audience is women because it's where my experience lies. But
Right.
I get a lot of men as well that want to kind of reach that next level of performance, that want to fine tune their productivity, that sort of thing. So of course I do work with men. I'm not singling out anyone, but in terms of how I present and how I position my what I have to offer, it's women.
Right. And how you said it's totally up to you. It's 100% up to your mindset. And sometimes we don't like to hear that because we become convicted within, right? Like me. It's my fault. Like it took me a while. I used to blame it on I blamed it on this, I blamed it on that. You know, the bottom line is it's all me, it's all my mindset. And you're a coach who can tell people that. And we have to be willing to listen, because if we're going to hire you on, we want what you have to offer, obviously, right? And some of that's the cold, hard truth.
100%.
Get off your lazy butt, make a decision, and go.
Yeah. 100%. I have, I mean, my coaching style is very direct, and I only take on board. I mean, I choose to work with clients that are truly ready to make a change. I don't, yeah, because it does take work. It does take, I mean, change is hard, right? To change habits, to develop new daily patterns and habits is a hard task. It's not like we're going to wake up one morning and bam, out of nowhere, we've had this magic pill. And like, yeah, it doesn't work that way. It takes that consistency, but it's also knowing what that end goal is and focusing on that instead of, I could very easily be, and I get stuck in it often. I mean, especially going to the gym, I'm like, oh my goodness, but last week I couldn't lift this weight. So what am I going to do? And I'm like, Dina, snap out of it. What is your goal? What are you here trying to do? And that is what I focus on. Because I can live in the past, but what's that doing for me? Nothing. It's holding me back. So yeah.
Exactly. And that's why we need coaches. That's why we need coaches. It's too easy for us to just fall back and make excuses. And I'm the type of person, if I'm having a coach, I need somebody who's very direct. There's all different learners, right? I'm that type of person. I need you to be bold. I need you to be strong. I need you to kick me in the butt. I'm not one of those people who need to be coddled and you got this, Kim. Like no, I'm like, I need you to be like, what's your problem? Like, do you want this? You don't want this? I like, you know, I learned my boldness.
100%. And you know what? No one is too good to not have a coach. Like a lot of people, it's an ego trip. And the best investment, and I have spent tens of thousands of dollars in coaching for me, and it is the best money I have ever invested in my life. My life changed a million times over when I discovered coaching and started working with a coach. So it's people like to think it's kind of like, oh, something must be wrong with me because I need a coach. It's like therapy, right? As well, and all of these kind of services. And it's actually no. Like you are working with someone to better yourself. It has nothing to do with something being wrong with you. It's you're bettering yourself. And I often, I just had a new client the other day, and she's like, Dina, I just keep self-sabotaging. And I was just like, tell me why. And she'd send me these things. She's like, have a read of this. This describes me. I'm like, okay, so why are you doing it? Why? You tell me. Why are you? You know you are. And it's very easy to fall into that victim mentality. But yeah, that's my role, to shake people up.
And isn't it a better, more attractive quality in a person to know that they're taking steps to better themselves, that they're humble enough to say, hey, I could do better, I could be better? That's a very attractive quality in a human being.
Absolutely.
Not that like ego, like I don't need help, I can do it on my own. That's what is that?
Yeah,
Right? So, and
exactly.
then you offer that. I love that. I love that. But I want to go back to CrossFit for a second. You're qualified. When are they? When do they happen? Because everything is a crazy mess in the world right now.
So the worldwide when it was oh my goodness, when was it? Mid-April. So that happened, and literally that was me entering. I'm not gonna kind of mention the gym, but they let me in just to kind of do the workouts because I needed a gym. So they helped me out there. I died. I really did. I mean, I went from not lifting a barbell for 7 months to going into a 4 rep max front squat, and my legs were aching for weeks after. So yeah, but the masters, the age group qualifiers, we find out on Monday. We should kind of, yeah, I think the email goes out on Monday. We find out the workouts on Thursday, the 6th of May. And then we have until the 10th to submit all of our scores and get judged and all of that. So I've been pushing myself, and I will for the next couple of weeks.
That's awesome. I want to hear how you do. If you can keep me posted, that'd be
I will.
awesome.
Thank you.
So let's get into now. You had to stop training for a bit. You had reasons, and I want to get into that reason. You fell ill. What was it?
Yeah, so out of nowhere, I mean, my ex-husband is he's in the UK we call it A&E, accident and emergency. So you guys probably have ER, emergency room. He's a doctor, and so we were still together kind of when COVID hit, and he was being tested regularly for his job, and he was getting us tested, my son and I, because obviously, like, yeah, all of just his work environment basically.
Right.
So always negative, everyone's fine. And then when I moved, this was probably in October, early October, one Saturday, 4 a.m. in the morning, I'm like tossing and turning in bed, and I'm like, what is this pain down my arm? And I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, okay, maybe I've just been asleep on my arm too long. I turn on the other side, and an hour and a half goes by, and I'm like, I feel like I can't breathe. Like, the pain is way too much. And I called an ambulance. And of course, they kind of ask you all the questions, what's going on, and I was like, I feel like I'm going to throw up. This is the pain. I've never had pain like this in my life. I'm literally, I can't even explain it now. Had the ambulance come in. They took me in straight away with a suspected minor heart attack. That woman, that morning, I was meant to have 6 friends over for brunch. 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm like texting everyone. I'm like, sorry guys, it's off. I'm in hospital, so sorry. Yeah. So, and they're like, no, you're not having a heart attack. Did all of the tests, the echogram, everything. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Had my morphine and everything. And then the cardiologist comes in and he's like, can you see this white shadow here? You've got pericarditis.
Pericarditis.
And I'm like, well, what is that word? What is that even? And it is basically swelling of the outer lining of the wall. But it is virus induced.
Okay.
So alarm bells went on for me, and I'm like, what? And of course, I mean, there's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of unknown with COVID, right? What it causes, what it doesn't, what it impacts. The entire year, I've been feeling very on and off health-wise. And in my head, I was always like, I might have got it and just kind of been asymptomatic, but I just don't feel right. Like even trying to go out for a run, which is normal for me, I just couldn't. I couldn't. So investigation after investigation, and one doctor says, no, it has nothing to do with COVID. The other doctor says 100%, we're seeing a lot of cases. So yeah, and this is kind of 7 months on. This is where I'm at the moment. My gut tells me that it is COVID related, because again, at 36 years old and I've been on all sorts of pericarditis forums. I'd say probably about 85% of the people on there have had it from COVID. And yeah, so that's my gut. Do I have a concrete answer? Nope, no one can give me one. But I mean, yeah, I'm feeling better. The pain is still there. I'm still requesting appointments because I'm like, no, I'm not back to my normal self. I wake up, I'm like breathless. It hurts. The pain in your chest is constant. You kind of learn to live with it, if that makes sense. It's a very weird thing. And they're called pericarditis flare-ups, because the second you get a virus or you get a cold or whatever, it flares up. And yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but I'm still unsure about things.
It's frustrating because you have some doctors saying yes, some doctors saying no, and those are the people we turn to, the ones that I mean, I know they don't know everything, but those are the ones we turn to. And so one's telling you yes, one's telling you no. You know your body.
Yeah.
And because you are an extreme extreme fitness programs, you know your body. Yeah. You know, you're very in tune with your body. So you know. Now with this, let me see if I can pronounce it right. Pericarditis. Oh, I had it written down. Pericarditis. Say it. What is it?
Pericarditis.
Pericarditis. Oh, I put it is. Okay. Pericarditis. Now this, whatever. They know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
This fluid around your heart. Is it around your heart?
Yeah.
So when you're working out and you're forcing yourself and that excursion, I can't even speak today. How do you feel? Like, are you nervous? Like, can that burst? Is that even a possibility?
So the first, when was it? The first 4 months, the cardiologist was like, 0 exercise. Your heart rate is not to go up. He said to me, he's like, you are at risk of cardiac arrest. So do not risk this. I had to cut out all caffeine. I had to, so I took it pretty seriously. I mean, a lot of the times I'm at like broken bones, whatever, I'm like, I won't really listen, but anyway. But this, I was like, let's listen to this one. And then I started kind of 4 months on, I started training a little bit, and in the middle of workouts I'd feel like a tightness in my chest for sure. And I still do now, but to a less extent. So, and I don't know whether that's caused some sort of subconscious thing in me, is that I'm not pushing myself as hard. I really don't know. But I'm trying to kind of live with it. Nothing's really happened to me in training from it, but sometimes I do get really out of breath, and I'm like, hang on a second. I said, and the coach is like, come on, Dina. I'm like, no, time out. Give me a second, because I feel like my heart's going to burst.
Right. So do you have the okay to go on with this, or are they still saying not yet with your training?
No. So I should be. I mean, they said at first he was like, the doctor was like, non-extreme sports, so very light kind of muscular strength work, anything like that. And then I was like, look, I know what my training levels are like, so you either give me the green light or you don't. And again, unfortunately, like the doctors that we see, I don't think they understand the athlete's style of living and the extent that they push themselves, unless you find doctors that work with athletes. Right. So he was like, maybe just walk around. I'm like, walking around, like, that's not, So it was just, it was a very frustrating time for sure. I was, I lost a lot of patience. I was extremely fidgety. I've never in my life not done anything for 5 months, like until when I was pregnant. I think that was the only time. But
so does your son train with you?
Oh my goodness, my son, funny story, he is the nerdiest, most amazing boy. He's so not into sports. And when I found out that I was having a boy, I was like, oh my God, this is my dream come true. I'm going to take him with me everywhere. And then, yeah, no, my son's, he loves history. He loves books. He reads George Orwell. I mean, he's
That's
like,
awesome.
yeah, no, he's an avid reader, but he plays soccer, football. So, yeah.
That's like my husband. He is like not the athlete. I'm the athlete. He is not. He's artsy. Like we are totally opposite ends of the spectrum there. That's fine. It's totally fine. That's awesome. Well, you know what? I'm really glad you're doing well. I'm glad your health is getting back on track. I'm glad that I hope some sort of answers come to you. But in the meantime, you're just going to keep training.
Yes.
You know your body.
Exactly.
You know your limits. And I want to hear all about it. I want to hear how it goes. And then we can maybe, when you get that trophy in your hand, we can have you back on.
Oh my goodness, that would be, yeah. I think next year I have a much better chance of not winning, but competing at a much higher level. But this year I'm just proud. I'm happy.
Yes.
Yeah, it's an absolute, you know what, you said that you hit the nail on the head. It's with women, I think we know our bodies really well. And I know when to stop and when I can push a little bit harder. So that's something I'm definitely thankful for. Before
we go though, I want to talk to our guests. I want to let them know, I want you to talk to us first about your 7-day mindset challenge, because I want our listeners to hear, because I have listeners in the UK, I have listeners all over. So, and the good thing, Dina, I'm with COVID, I mean, if there is any good things, there's some good things. This whole Zoom thing and everything online, your business is just expanded because you can coach in somebody's living room.
We can reach so many more people. And you know what? I mean, even taking part in this challenge, which was a complete impulse thing for me, but I had this moment last week where I'm like, what can I do for people? I just found this trend in conversations. People were getting in touch, but they're like, I'm not sure whether this isn't for me, and I'm like, you are in charge of your life. You either want to make a change and drive forward, or you don't. I can't make that decision for you. Right. So I was like, what can I do to bring people into, like, to open that door for people without committing to a 12-week program or anything else? What can I do for them to experience the change a little bit, or experience the training and the opportunity ahead of them? So I was like, I'm going to do a 7-day mindset challenge, and literally posted it on Facebook, and that was it. And I had a target of 100 people, and I've surpassed that now. But I start Monday, 7 days. And yeah, I'm just doing it in my Facebook group, and super casual. I'll be in there live every day, hosting a session. And yeah, I'll be offering kind of complimentary coaching sessions to people who finish the challenge. And yeah, I just want to give. It's 7 days of giving.
That's wonderful. So you're starting next Monday coming up?
Yes.
Okay. And so if people want to figure out how they can join that, where do they go?
100%. Either get in touch with me, so Dina Gindy on Facebook, or the group is called the Mindset Upgrade Project, and that is my my group on Facebook. And the reason why I've called it that, because people ask me, they're like, why do you call it a project? I'm like, because mindset work is an ongoing process. It is always an ongoing process, and you never finish it, and you can see it as this growth project. And that's how I see it. When I think of a project, it's like it's continuous. And yeah, so yeah, that's what my group's called.
That's wonderful. Now, when you're saying that, I'm thinking, so it's this Monday, because I don't know when this is going to air, and I don't think it's going to air this Monday. So, but I'm thinking, oh, great. Now we're talking about something that's happening, and it might air after. So for my listeners, I'm going to go on Facebook when I'm done with this, and I am going to promote Dina's Monday 7-day challenge mindset, because it might be finished by the time this airs. So I'm going to go on, tell people about it, how to get in touch with you, Dina. And listen, whether this 7-day mindset challenge is done or not, go look her out, seek her out, Dina Gindy, Gindy. You can see it on the screen there anyway, how she spells it on Facebook, and find out what this coaching is all about. As she mentioned, it's an attractive quality in people when you feel I can better myself, because we always need improvement in our life. And if you think you don't, sorry, you're wrong. We all need improvement. Check her out. Go see what it's all about. And you know what? You might just say, man, I really need this, and she's the one for me. So we give that, and then you guys can go and take it from there and better yourselves. And when you do, please do this. I've talked to a lot of coaches, and I think one thing I would like you to do, if you do, whether it be Dina or other coaches, go back and tell them what a difference they've made in your life, what a difference those changes have made in your life. Because we all need to hear that our passion, our desires is actually helping somebody, because that's her desire. She wants to give back and she wants to help. Let her know. And if you've already taken her coaching, let her know. So
incredible.
We're going to look out for you in the World CrossFits. We're going to look out for Dina Gindy mindset coaching, right?
Yep.
And look, know your body. She is in extreme fitness. Her body is healthy. She knows what goes in. She knows what comes out. Yet something happened, and she listened to her body. She went to the hospital. This coronavirus can attack in so many different ways. Take it seriously. It's real. Many of you know my position on lots of things, because I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it is a real thing. It does affect you. And she is walking proof that it's hard. It really, really takes its toll on your body. So listen to your body and stay healthy. Thank you for sharing your story with us, Dina. And I'm going to have your information at the back of this video, so people can get in contact with you. And yeah, let's meet up again when all of this happens for you.
100%. And thank you so much. And this is, I mean, I just want everyone to know that it is normal. It is happening. So yes, it's exactly like you said, pay attention to your body and respect it and respect your mind.
Yes. Thank you so much. Good luck to you, and we will keep in contact. And for you, my visitors, my viewers, my listeners, thank you so much. As always, I am so appreciative of you tuning in each and every week. You know, don't forget our YouTube channel, thisisyourcity.ca, if you just want to do the audio. Don't forget to share, to like, to subscribe, to send a pigeon, whatever it is. Make sure you tell everyone they should be listening to This Is Your City. Be safe, be blessed.